Hey guys, this is my courage project, and I think the definition of courage for me would be my mother, because of the adversity she overcame, and just through her courageous actions she had to take throughout those adversity moments. And this is my mom.
Hello, I'm Trina Sanchez, Anthony's mom, and I want to share a little bit about my story and how I had overcome in my life the challenges. At age 15, it was my freshman year, I was pregnant, and which was very hard for my family, my mom and dad. Some of the challenges that we faced was my friends, I lost some of my friends that couldn't hang out with me anymore because of being pregnant. I couldn't go, once I had my daughter, I couldn't go to homecoming dances or games because I had a responsibility at that time. I had a very good support group. My mom and dad helped me with my daughter and financially, and they would help if I worked. I couldn't get a job right then and there, so I really depended on them to help me. And that was really difficult because you had people talking about you or your situation, and you just had to keep your head up and you had to keep going. My main goal was to graduate high school, which I did graduate high school. And that was my parents, they said, you have to graduate. You're not going to drop out of school. That is something that you're going to do. However, once I could work, they had a work program at the high school, so I'd go to school half days and then I would work at Hill Country Medical Monday through Friday. And I also had a job on the weekends where I worked at the hospital as well, just so I could support my daughter. I had to pay for daycare, I had to pay for diapers, formula. I graduated, of course, from high school with my daughter cheering me on. She was the age of 4 when I graduated. And then during the process, I met my son Isaiah's dad at age 17. And I got pregnant at 22. The relationship was not a good relationship. It was mentally and physically abusive. I had a very low self-esteem about myself and where I could go or couldn't go. He was very controlling over me, made me feel like I could never do anything without him. When I got pregnant, I had to make some decisions on if this is what I wanted for my 2 kids. I was a single mom. And at that point, once I had my son, I decided to leave the relationship and decided that I didn't want to be in that relationship anymore. So I left him. I met Anthony's dad when in 2004. We got married in 2009, and he helped raise the children I already had. And he is a peace officer, so he worked nights, he worked weekends, he worked out of town. So a lot of the times the kids and I were by ourselves. But during that process, I worked for the city of Kerrville, and I've been there 19 years. And I was a permit technician. I worked closely with an ordinance change with the city manager at the time. And I worked closely with her, and at that time after the ordinance passed and we helped people through the ordinance, she asked me if I would like to be a code enforcement officer, which would require me a week of school and a state test. And I said no. I said I had my youngest son, who's 9 today, and he was a newborn, and I did not want to do that because most of the time I was by myself. My husband would come on the weekends or when he was off home. However, she pushed and pushed me, so I went on and I got my code enforcement license and became the code enforcement manager for 6 months. After 6 months, she came to me and asked me if I would like to take a position for Assistant Director of Development Services, which would require me to go back to school to get my associate's degree. And I said that was going to take me a long time and that would be difficult. She was persistent and she just kept pushing and pushing, and so I went back to school. I got my associate's degree, and I received a scholarship through Alamo Colleges that allowed me to get the scholarship for 2 years, and then after 2 years and completing 60 hours, it could go to any university. So that was a goal for me. That was awesome. I wouldn't have to pay for my schooling. And I started looking at other jobs, and other jobs required me to have a bachelor's degree. So even though they did not expect me to get the bachelor's degree, I wanted myself. I wanted to reach that goal. I never thought I would reach a goal of having a bachelor's degree. That was never a goal of mine until my boss pushed me and knew the potential that I had, and I will forever be grateful. I had such a good support group with my husband, my family. Everybody helped pitch in to help me get and cross that finish line. So I got my associate's May of 18, and I got my bachelor's in business administration in 2021. There were lots of times I cried and I wanted to give up. I didn't think I could do it. I just wanted to stop, but I kept going, and I am grateful that I had those opportunities and I had such good support, and that I've grown in my career.
Guys, that is my mom, and she is the reason why I can say that, the definition of courage is her. She overcame her challenges through her life and made a great life for her and her kids, and still does, and will do anything for her kids. My mom is the best definition I can find of courageous actions in this world, and I love her. Thank you.